Christmas Eve, the good man went to gather branches. He wanted to weave them into merry wreaths when he heard the little fellow dancing. Dear old friend. The good man stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing. Listen, my good friend, please give a word. This holy eve was not meant for carousing. The riotous behavior from your boys this eve, their noise, my anger, it is rousing. Dear old friend. The man, he stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing. I scolded their behavior on this Christmas Eve. If not for you, the consequence is grievous. For, hey, look you, they threw a bowl at me. If not for you, I would have struck them speechless. Dear old friend. The man, he stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing. I told them of the value of peaceful Christmas cheer. If not for you, there surely would be trouble. For, hey, look you, they struck me with a beer. If not for you, the house would surely rumble. Dear old friend. The man, he stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing. I tried to give my lesson with my humble tune. If not for you, my actions were tremendous. For, hey, look you, they poked me with a spoon. If not for you, my actions were horrendous. Dear old friend. The man, he stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing. The good man begged his pardon, but signaled discontent. The little man for 9 years came a-sailing. But in that whole time he never paid his rent. Their friendship on this matter more was ailing. Dear old friend. The man, he stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing. The little fellow squinted and he twirled his beard. He saw at what his friend was grasping. But a request for payment before he never heard. The man was too shy to be asking. Dear old friend. The man, he stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing. but go to the stern of the ship, and down there hangs a bright pair of brilliant golden breeches. And down in there stand 9 treasure-laden chests, and with keys all the locks are loosened. Good old friend, the man he stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing. And down in there lies a scarf of vibrant blue, sewn all in shining thread of silver, made by the hand of my daughter Ingerie, while she was still a lass unmarried. Dear old friend, the man he stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing. And down in there lies an embroidered silken robe, garlanded with evergreens and lilies, saved all the year by my wife for Christmas Day, when with merry frolic she was dancing. Dear old friend, the man he stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing. And I will gladly give you with grateful Christmas cheer the tablecloth we used for Christmas dinner. For we little fellows dance but once a year, when good men gather wreaths in the midwinter. Dear old friend. The good man stood there listening. The little fellow rhymed and he was dancing.